Vancouver's protest against greed was very interesting, but this is a whole lot more interesting.
Society may have rejected us as a bunch of dirty, long-haired, unemployed hippies, but we saw ourselves as being part of a catalyst for change.
Hippie initiatives sprang up around the city. The Love Shop was a reaction to the evils of capitalism and the greed of the straight world. It was a shop that gave everything away.
We who started the shop feel that if we are going to survive at all as a species, we have to rethink our entire lives at this stage of the 20th century.
I certainly didn't want to live any kind of conventional life, and started taking a lot of psychedelic drugs, and suddenly it didn't look too good in the smoke-filled, dark room. People wanted to be out in the sun, and that whole connection with spirituality and nature came along, and there was just a million things to get involved in. I started doing yoga and reading Buddhism, and everywhere in the streets there were people you'd run across who were, you just look in their eyes and they were where you were, and you just say, oh man, and it was like a subculture just popped up out of nowhere. I think people genuinely wanted to live differently than just growing up, studying, getting married, having 2.5 kids, getting a mortgage and perpetuating that kind of suburbia. There was a rejection of that. So I think there was quite a strong desire to go back to the land and to try and start again. We thought, right, let's go back to primitive village lifestyle and see if we can't evolve a different country altogether where materialism isn't the main motivator for our communities. We're working towards something better, something new, and perhaps people have described these sort of experiments as the universities of human relationships. Perhaps it'll be the centres of new culture, new art forms, new means of expression. Anything could happen. Well, a lot of us were middle-class intellectuals, so we had to learn to build a commune house, or to do a garden, or to go fishing and actually catch fish. It wasn't a sport, it was our dinner for the day. And we influenced, often in very quiet ways, what was going on in this country. I was part of that whole thing of get back to the land, the military-industrial complex is going to eat us alive, get out from under the wheel, etc., etc., etc. And we come up here and think, I can have a bit of this. Oh yeah. When we came here, this place was going down because of the oil shock. They'd stopped doing things like the cream run, and so dairy, for instance, ceased to be viable.
The local store was bankrupt, the school was about to close, and so it was a rural community on complete decline.
And then suddenly all these naked hippies turned up and started buying little bits of land and contaminating their environment.
When I think about the number of people that turned up, roughly in the same year that we did, there were probably 300 or 400 people that turned up. In an area of only 3,000 people, that was a dramatic influx. I think we expected the demise of the planet within 5 years and we were going to be the great saviours or something, but we realised to just do it on a local level was really the best sort of power that you could have.
The new pioneers brought city ideas and hippie ideals to the country. They were into organics, natural therapies and alternative energy, but most of them had no idea of country life, and they were in for a shock.
We came in a little old blue van when Jamie was 6 weeks old, and we got here and this valley was just so beautiful, and I spent the whole time trying to protect my 6-week-old baby from the sandflies, and my shit was green because we were eating only greens. It was terrible. You know, I was really worried I was going to run out of breast milk.
Well, we just thought it was a great adventure. I mean, you know, we were young and fit and party, and we all knew that we wanted to set up a different way of lifestyle than living in the cities and going to work and all that.
We were proud to think of ourselves as hippies, because for us it meant people who had chosen to live on the land and live simply. It was a label that we endorsed.
Communities sprang up around the country. The most well-known was poet James K. Baxter's spiritual commune, Jerusalem, which both repelled and fascinated straight New Zealand.
You know, we were called filthy and scum, and we slept on the floors. The sanitary conditions weren't the best. We were outcasts. But in summer I washed in the river. I went swimming every day. And I was a free spirit. And I loved it. Well, I remember the people, you know, because we were close. When we were first there, you know, the 8 or 10 of us would just sleep on one mattress and curl up together. Me and Barbara down having our bath in the river. You know, me, the peace symbol, trying to look like Jesus Christ. You know, this one here, this is a joke, in the garden. That was probably the only time we were ever seen in the garden. We actually could see, it was all overgrown, and there we are with hoes and the rest of it. We didn't go to the garden. And I remember this James K. Baxter in there praying, you know, and sitting around the communal food in a circle. David Tiaftu, one of the most beautiful, gentle people I've ever come across. He was a priest. We took drugs as hippies to try and get the peace and the serenity that people like that had. You know, we wanted to have that peace and serenity. I loved it originally when there was 8, 10, 15 of us, and you'd get a few people coming in on the weekends. But after a year and a half, when everybody decided they wanted to be a hippie, or they wanted to sleep with a hippie, or maybe there was drugs there, you could go to sleep and you'd wake up and there'd be people taking photographs of you. We were getting through on the weekends, some weekends 100 to 200 people. It was like a zoo. Come and look at the hippies. And, no. I got out of there.
The chaotic model of Jerusalem became the public image of hippiedom. But other communities took changing the world much more seriously.
I was a teenager in Tauranga, fresh school leaver, and a person that didn't know what was going to happen next, so I hitchhiked to the South Island. I liked the idea of the white.
It just makes me proud to be a pirate.